Aloha!
Aloha.
My name is Krista Ralaxmi-Ditten,
And I'm Michael Ditton.
and we are Infinite,
Activation,
coming to you from
San Diego, California.
Today. We are going to finalize the topic of divine masculine and divine feminine. It's the most important two polarities there are in this human existence, and each one of us, we should learn how to become friends with them. And very many people are actually not having no idea how this works and how to make it work for you and with you. And today we will give you some tips and tools how you can make it happen.
Sounds like a plan.
Yep. So just a little story from this morning. So I do every morning my beach walks, which is around 45 minutes and 3.6 kilometers usually. And this morning, Michael was saying, can you also give some extra thoughts about abundance in our lives? And I was like, okay, I have that anyways, but okay, maybe I'll take in focus the abundance of like how we can create more abundance together. So I did my regular thing, which is I go through one abundance mantra. So I had a little specific focus on that topic. And then after that, I started to go through our abundance wheel. So I went through each topic: sexuality, relationships, health, life mission, and holistic abundance, imagining all of the things, how we together create those things. And just maybe 10 minutes into the walk, I walk and then I come into this little big squash.
Now that's abundance.
Yes. So universe was like, okay, these two are really working now. I have to give them a sign, something physical, so that they will realize that abundance is here in every form and way. And in that case, like, what do you think? How heavy is this thing?
It's got to be at least 5 pounds.
Yeah. And you may think that, okay, that can be just a coincidence, but the thing is, you don't see such a squash on the beach every day.
Well, you don't see such a squash every day in the first place, but
Yeah.
on the beach
Yeah.
with no farms in sight.
So I just had to bring it home to share and show Michael, this is what universe has in store for us. So if it manifested this badass squash for us, like what else is possible?
Looking forward to seeing what it is.
So just going back into the basics with this squash. So what makes a squash a squash? Like how can it grow into such a squash? What's the process?
Well, when I grow squashes, and I normally cut them before they get that big because they can get a little stringy and not as flavorful when they get that big. But basically, you start with the seed, you fertilize and water it and nurture it and let it grow, sunshine. Then you get a plant that blossoms, and normally it's a kind of a yellowish blossom that comes off of it. And then the squash will start to grow and the blossom will remain on the end of the squash. In fact, if it stays all the way to the end of the growth, you'll have a healthy squash. If the bud comes off before it starts to mature, then that squash will typically die. So this guy probably had a flowering bud on it for quite some time, and then continued to grow through its maturity. And somebody just left it on there for a long period of time, but it has been cut. So wherever it came from, it's got a clean cut on the end. It didn't accidentally break off. So we don't know if it floated over from Mexico, was on a ship from somewhere else, or somebody, I don't know. It's a mystery.
And now this squash has made appearance and is virally famous.
Yeah, it's going around the world.
Very cool. So the process Michael was explaining right now is the process of how the masculine and feminine is working together. And now when we add to this divine masculine and feminine, which you can check out the previous videos, we talked about it, you add another layer because you have that consciousness in the whole process. So we'll go through some points, what you can focus yourself to make this dance happening. So if we just say, let's just say very simple example. if a man has done vasectomy and has sex with a woman who is there just to enjoy the process, but the woman actually is expecting to get pregnant, is that possible?
Not likely. If she does, it means that the vasectomy probably didn't work, or
It was spirit.
or it was a power much greater than one we can do. But yeah, not normally.
So that's the thing. Many people, there is one of the part is missing, or they don't really put the thought to it, like, oh my God, there is no fertilization process happening, and then they are wondering why nothing is happening. So you have to work with these polarities all the time. So number one thing is the polarity of active, passive. So when you think which one is active and which one is passive, masculine, feminine.
I don't know if there's a correct answer to it, because I could see it either way.
Yeah, but in general, masculine is more active, like taking more action and flowing with that, and feminine is more like the receiving end and with that polarity. So now, when we just say giving and taking, it's or giving and receiving is the same thing. When one side is not working, then the other side, it just kind of drops. It doesn't really serve its purpose.
Right.
So in your life, what we recommend you to do is to look at this active, passive, how it's represented in your life, and also when you think of giving and receiving. So how is this going? So is there anything you need to change with it? And sometimes also, when you have no idea how to start to receive what you need, whether it's a squash on the beach or other things, you can start with giving and with that intention. Like I did this morning with an intention to go and walk and think of abundance in a different way. And then the universe gave me the squash.
Yeah, and if you feel like a cycle is broken or not functioning properly, if you look at this polarity and see what it is you're doing and what the opposite of that is, there's probably a direct correlation of one being stronger than the other, or one existing and one not. And a lot of people, you talk about give and receive, a lot of people are givers, and we're givers as well. And, you know, we go through our day to day as givers, but when we don't receive, it doesn't allow us to be as strong a giver. So even though we like to give, it's good to receive so that we are more in balance. When we're in more balance and that polarity is there, it actually strengthens us. We may feel like, oh, we don't need that because we're such good givers, but the balance actually makes us better.
Mm-hmm. And then we go to the next level, which is the feminine, as we also talked in previous videos, is more the invisible, the ideas, impulses. So right now, I will share one of the recent experiments the inner feminine was guiding me to. So I got this idea to do another level of challenge in Estonian market, and I got an idea like, okay, I would like to test if I put a different title to this event, do I have different people signing up, and do I have different results to that? And it seemed like a stupid idea, but my inner man was like, okay, let's try it. So I put the event up with two different titles, two different like the picture on the top with the message, and I had the similar event text, and then completely two different kind of people answered, and one had more attraction than the other. So I took action with the idea, which just came like 2 days ago. I put it into action, and today I have a much clearer understanding what I should do and how this works.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the polarity of the divine masculine and feminine. I let them dance, I listened, I took action, and I made it happen.
Yeah, so you had your masculine and feminine working together to make it happen.
Yeah. And this is the problem. Many times people get the idea, they don't listen, they don't put it to action, and nothing happens. And then they wonder what happened. So you still have to take action.
Absolutely.
So otherwise, nothing will manifest.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the next one is to learn that dance, to listen, and also it's like kind of two parts. We have that in one of our retreats or workshops where there is we have two dances. So one is where one person has the eyes closed and one is leading, and the other one is just going where the other person is leading you, and then it's the contrary, you exchange the roles. And what's really interesting is when you have those eyes closed and you have to let go of control and you have to really trust that other person, that that other person will not hit you with something or you don't hit against something or someone, and you have to let go of control. And that trust element is such a glue and activator and catalyzer between those processes between the divine masculine and feminine. So crucial.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've done that.
Yeah. So you did that exercise also in one of the workshops, do you remember?
Separate from the Tantra Fest, and we also did something similar to it in England.
Yeah. So basically, what happens also after this is we always ask like who felt most comfortable with leading, so the hands go up, and who felt most okay to be led. And very often what happens is that most people feel better to lead. And so that shows that right now, still in this world where we're living, masculine is still the leading part, which is in some ways really good, but we have to let and train ourselves to let that feminine also come in to lead more.
Yeah, and part of that training is just getting to know. So if you have two people, one's leading, one's following, if they don't know each other, most likely the person that's following is going to feel more comfortable if they're in that leading position. But if they get to know each other and that trust is developed, then that balances out a little bit more. So it's like anything else, the more you learn it or get to know it, the better it is. So if you have a masculine and feminine, you get to know them better and then create that balance within.
Yeah. And also when we start to talk about our abundance wheel, one of the first topics is actually sexuality. And so many times people overcomplicate this, but we would say to start to understand the sexuality, especially in the new time energy, with connection to the divine king and divine queen as well. It's really cool to look into that divine masculine and divine feminine. And once you understand this, you will understand how the co-creation and the whole process goes, because this is the very basic level of it. Just the fact that I am here today is the fact that my mom and dad made love. It's the same for you.
Well, not your mom and dad.
Yeah, I mean, your mom and dad. Or anyone who is looking there,
That'd be kind of strange.
Yeah. So then we wouldn't be together probably.
Yeah, well, we would, but as brother and sister.
Yeah. So that way you can also understand how it's a creation energy. It can create a human being, but it's behind every creation there is. Even if you're just thinking like, okay, the other day I thought I'm gonna now do my first banana bread. So that was the idea. Then I had to get the recipe. Then I had to get the ingredients. Then I had to heat the oven. And then when I did all these things and took action, what came out?
Banana bread.
Did you like it?
It was good.
Yeah. So it was edible.
It was very edible. You did a good job, especially for your first go round.
Yeah. So good banana bread came out.
Good banana bread.
So it's a beautiful process. And what we invite you is, of course, go through those self-reflective questions again, but also observe in your life when you feel that this balance is really off or something is not really manifesting the way you would like. Maybe you need a little more attention to that feminine and, listen to the guidance and intuition talking to you. And then just like that, things may change overnight.
Yep. Yeah, that's part of the process.
Yeah, and also live your life intentionally,
Mhm.
like we. So you may also run into a squash on a beach.
You never know.
Yeah. So
Weirder things have happened.
yeah. So thank you so much.
Mhm.
And this was today's episode. Please like, comment, and share, and subscribe. Till the next time.
Mahalo.
Mahalo.